Friends, I have to confess, I have a confession to make, and that is that I use duct tape for minor car repairs. I've had parts come out that I went over a curb or something, and parts underneath the bumper were like hanging down, and I went under there, and it didn't look like anything really serious. And so I decided to try use duct tape, and my car is also gray, the same color as duct tape. And so, you know, maybe a year ago this happened, and I taped these parts underneath the front bumper. I taped them under, and they held for a very long time, and you couldn't even tell. And then they were coming down again in the last couple months or so. So I might have either run over something again with the bumper, or else after a while they just came down to the car wash. I don't know. But plus, my car has 115,000 miles, or 100 more than that even, and it has a slow oil leak. So I was going to sell my car yesterday. Well, I was first going to get it appraised. I made an appointment at CarMax for an appraiser. And I decided I better get the car clean first and also fix the things hanging under. I went under there with my duct tape again, and I taped up the little parts that were hanging down. I went to Wash-A-Rama. I cleaned my car, had it clean. It was all nice and clean. And I noticed one of the tires was low. And so I pulled the car over to a Walgreens and parked in the spot so that I could put some air in the tire with the compressor that I carry in my trunk, just in case this happens and I need to put air in. So I got the compressor out of the trunk, I pulled the thingy off the tire, I put the right amount of air in, and it's fine, and now the car looks perfect. It's clean, everything's smooth, and the tire's full. Put the compressor in the trunk, get in the car, start the car, starting to back up, bang! I'm like, oh, I know. I look behind me, and there's this Cadillac, and somehow this Cadillac that went past me, we have collided. I can't believe it. I get out of the car right away to see what happened, because it was a big noise, and I see that on the back right side, the bumper is kind of hanging off on the right side of the car, and the right light is broken too. So it's kind of bad damage. It's at least several $100s or a few hundred. And then I go over and I walk over to the Cadillac, waiting for that person. There's no damage that I can see, and this little old lady gets out, and she's like, doesn't have a clue. And I say, well, you know, you hit me. And she's like, no, you hit me. And I said, no, you hit me. I was backing out. And she goes, well, I was just trying to get to that spot over there where she is, which is nowhere in the direction where I am. And I'm realizing, well, she's looking at that spot, so she didn't see me, and she crashed into me. So we're kind of debating on whose fault it is. And during that process, I go back to my car again, and I pick up this piece of metal. And I look at this piece of metal, try to find out what it goes to. And nothing in the back of my car is metal. And I go over to her car, and I see that it's a strip right behind her wheel well. So that tells me that I probably did back into her, because it's not in the front of her car. So anyway, I'm like, okay, so we don't have to call the police. We exchange our information. And I'm going to try to figure out, now what do I do about my car? Well, I don't have any duct tape, which I know is good to use. So I do stick the bumper back on as best I can. I clip it on, and I decide to try to drive and get my appraisal and just tell them I'm going to get their car repaired, and let's just appraise it like there's nothing wrong with it. I drive a few blocks, and I hear the bumper has not held, and I realize it's I pull over to the side, it's down, and I say I'm going to have to tape it, and I really need duct tape because it's not going to just stay by itself. So I'm a few blocks from 84. I know there's a shopping center. Put my flashers on, and I drive about 20 miles an hour to 84 with the thing hanging off a little. Go in the shopping center. There's a bunch of stores. Go in the window, see, do you have duct tape? No, we only have postal tape. Go out of there. There's a Radio Shack. Do you have duct tape? No, we only have electrical tape. Ask the guy, the nice young man, well, do you know where I could get duct tape? And he says, there's a Big Lots store down there, and they have everything. So I'm walking toward the Big Lots, and I pass a dollar store. So what the heck? I went in the dollar store. I asked the guy, do you have duct tape? He's like, doesn't blink an eye. He takes me to the duct tape. It's like, I can't believe it. I said, do you have a scissors too? And I said, I need this to fix my car. It's in the parking lot. I'm using duct tape. The guy doesn't blink an eye. So I guess a lot of people that go to the dollar store buy duct tape to fix their cars, because this did not surprise him at all. He gets me a scissors. I can't believe you can get a scissors for $1. But you can in the dollar store. And so I have my scissors and my duct tape, and now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to get this situation handled with the trusty duct tape. and I see some other things I want there. There's some hand sanitizer, and there's lipstick that I like, and some eyeshadow kit and hair things. And so I pick these other items up, go out to my car, put the cosmetics in the back seat, get the duct tape, and put the bumper back again, and try to start taping it like I normally do. And I noticed that the duct tape is thinner than what I would normally use, but I figure it'll do. So I put the bumper back in again, and I cut the duct tape, several pieces of it, a lot, to make up for the fact that it's thin. And I have the bumper really taped on good, and I can feel the tape going underneath the wheel well, and it's really secure and everything's smooth. And I'm like, got it handled. I can go to CarMax again, my plan, tell them I'm going to get this fixed. Just give me an appraisal as if it's fixed. Or that's the plan. So I then go out to get on 595, which is our 8-lane highway going west, and it's only a couple miles. And all of a sudden, after about a mile, I hear again, and I realize, oh shoot, the bumper is down again. So I put my flashers on, I'm dragging the bumper, and I go to the side because there's no exit right there. And I have to pull into this little narrow little green area where there's merging traffic, and I have the flashers on and cars are going by me 70 miles an hour. And I get out of the car to check, and now the bumper is hanging off a lot worse. More of it came down on the side, a lot more. It's only like now hanging by a foot on the left side. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to be able to tape that back. Obviously the tape didn't work the first time, and it's not going to tape now. And now I realize that I forgot my cell phone. So I have a little bit of a complicated situation because I'm on 595. I have a car that I can't drive as it is, and the traffic is going by me 60, 70 miles an hour, and I don't have a phone. Anyway, I realize I have to get the bumper off. That's like the only solution. So I go around the left side, and I start pulling on that sucker, and I'm trying to pull off the bumper, and it is not coming off. So as easy as it came off on the other side, I can't get it off. I go and get out the scissors that I got in the dollar store, and I try to pry it off with the scissors. That doesn't work either. And I'm thinking, I'm really working hard to get this thing off, and maybe some guy might stop and help me, but no, that doesn't happen. But anyway, fortunately, after a few minutes, the road ranger guy came, the road ranger guy with the tow truck. He sees I have a problem, he gets out. I tell him, can you pull this off for me? And he puts his gloves on and he pulls it off. And I wanted to keep it because I figured if I have to repair the car and I can keep the bumper, it's going to cost less, even though now the bumper's kind of like dinged up. But he trundles it into the back seat of my car. We get it stuck in there, and I can't see in the back mirror, but we got it in the car, and I can drive fine. And I just continue on to the CarMax, and I talk to the lady, and I tell her, the reason I'm 45 minutes late for our appointment is I had this little accident in Walgreens, and one thing led to another, and now I have no bumper on the car. And I'm going to get that fixed, but in the meantime, do you think we could appraise it as if it's fixed now? So she's trying to help. She gets her appraiser guy out there, and he says, no, I'm afraid we have to appraise it as is, so you better get it fixed first. So anyway, I ended up not getting a car or having mine appraised, and I always try to find the good in things, and I'm thinking, well, the good thing is I didn't back into another car in my new car that I don't have yet, so that's a good way to look at it. But really the moral of the story is do not buy your duct tape at dollar store, especially the duct tape you use to fix your car. It's not going to hold. That's it.